Hey everyone, welcome to the show. I have a bunch of updates to share about Donald Trump's alleged coup clowns. First up is news about suspended attorney Rudy Giuliani. U.S. District Judge Beryl Howell scheduled his defamation trial for December 11th. So, this is the case that was brought by the Georgia election workers Ruby Freeman and Shay Moss. And as you guys all know, if you've been following the show, the judge already ruled in their favor. So, this trial is just to determine how much he owes them for his election fraud lies. In addition to the date, the judge also ruled that Giuliani has to attend in the trial in person every day. So he has to be there for the duration of the proceedings. Next up is an update on the story that I shared about ex-lawyer attorney Lynn Wood. He is cooperating, supposedly, with the prosecutor in Georgia. That was what was reported last week. Well, Wood denies that he's a witness against Donald Trump. He did admit, though, to receiving a subpoena to testify in the October trial for Sidney Powell and Kenneth Chesebro. And what Wood is saying, or what he told Rolling Stone, is that he believes he's being called to testify against Powell. Pretty crazy because, these two were practically tied at the hip. And they were spouting the same Q-loon election fraud fairy tale nonsense following the 2020 election. Well, Powell and Wood have since had a falling out. And Wood says that Powell had signed his name to various lawsuits, election fraud lawsuits, without his express permission. She doesn't exactly deny it. She was like, oh, well, it's possible there was a misunderstanding. So he now claims she's a, quote, deep state grifter and that she set him up. And Wood told Rolling Stone that, to the best of his recollection, he was only asked about Powell when he testified before the special grand jury. And he said he is very happy, more than happy, to comply with the subpoena to testify in the upcoming trial. So, not good. I just love the right on right violence. And this all, by the way, came to light because there was a court filing submitted by Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis. She is asking the court to remove 6 attorneys involved in this massive RICO case because of conflicts of interest. So in this court filing, the DA told the court that these attorneys represented people who are now witnesses for the prosecution. These are former targets of the investigation who are now cooperating with the prosecutor. So the attorneys could potentially use previous privileged conversations against these same people during the trial to benefit their other current clients, their continued clients. Next is bad news for Mr. Pillowman, Mike Lindell. The Eighth Circuit Court of Appeals slapped down his argument that the government violated his constitutional rights by seizing his phone. They also affirmed a lower court's ruling that he is not entitled to have his phone back. And this appeals panel that made this decision is very conservative. All 3 of the judges were appointed by Republicans. 2 of them were appointed by different Bush presidents, and then 1 was appointed by Trump. And the ruling against Lindell was unanimous. This is significant because, as you guys might recall, his phone was seized in relation to the investigation into Trump's alleged coup. And the investigators are very interested in his communication with now indicted former Colorado County Clerk Tina Peters. So Peters, as I've mentioned before, she has been indicted on charges of granting illegal access to voting equipment in Mesa County, Colorado. So her trial is coming up in January of next year. And she has in the past implicated Colorado Congresswoman Lauren Boebert in this scheme. Boebert is, of course, fresh off her Beetlejuice porn tour. So this could add to her bad press. And this is where Peters messed up, because this is now coming to a head with Lindell's phone. They are now probably going to start accessing this information. If they find information on his phone that implicates her even further, that's going to be used against her at her January trial. She had a chance to go to trial earlier this year, and she keeps getting it delayed. So this is totally on her. And if, for instance, Peters texted him or emailed Lindell with details of Boebert's involvement, it is not going to be good. It could be a lot of trouble for Congresswoman Lauren Boebert. I hope and pray that that is the case. Next is news about attorney Kenneth Chesebro. He is attempting to suppress the most crucial evidence against him in his October trial. Chesebro claims that the memos that he wrote to Trump and his team are privileged communication between an attorney and the client. Those memos, though, detailed his plan to usurp the will of the voters. It literally outlined the fake elector scheme, to use false Trump elector documents on January 6th instead of the legitimate Biden documents. So I doubt he's going to be successful in getting those items thrown out. It seems to me, I'm not an attorney, but it seems that the crime fraud exception applies to this. And for those who maybe aren't familiar with that term, maybe in another country, the crime fraud exception basically prohibits the concealment of a crime, even if it comes in the form of attorney-client privileged communication. So we'll see what happens with that. Also, Chesebro's filing listed 52 potential witnesses that his legal team plans to call during the trial. So this could be a very long trial. So we'll see what happens with all of that. Of course, I will definitely cover the trial in detail. That is coming up. It will be a live stream, though, from what I understand. The Georgia courts allow their trials to be live streamed. So we should all get to watch it firsthand. But if you guys are off doing your job, I'll be doing mine and watching it live and then reporting it back to you in the evening. So keep an eye out for all of that. I will keep you posted on all of these coup clowns and anything new that comes up. Thank you all so much for watching and listening. Please like, share, and subscribe. Donate if possible. Links are below in the description box on YouTube and on the podcast. Love you guys. Take care. Talk with you soon.